This is Michael Tucker, and you're watching the new Legends on Deck podcast with host Brian Koss and David Conde.
The ball, I want your right, left, plus your right foot, okay? So we catch the ball, right foot in front, left foot, boom, okay? So we are here, we catch, right foot in front, left, then go. Nice and easy, okay? Step by step. We're going here, catch the ball, right foot, transfer, boom, right, left, yeah, boom, nice.
Welcome to episode 13 of the new Legends on Deck podcast. I'm Brian Koss, senior editor at Legends on Deck, with our co-founder, David Conde, and our special guest today, Sammy Miranda. Little background on Sammy. He is a Venezuelan native, came up through the Red Sox system, and played in the Dominican Summer League, the Gulf Coast League, but with the Lowell Spinners in the NY-Penn League, Greenville Drive in the South Atlantic League, and the Salem Red Sox. He is currently, we'll get into that more, but he's currently teaching the next generation how to play the game. Sammy, welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity. And it's a pleasure to me be part of this interview, meeting, conversation we're going to be have about everything we know, you know.
No problem, buddy.
Welcome.
So let's just kind of delve into a little bit. So we all know that Venezuela has some great baseball players. You have like Miguel Cabrera over the years. You have Jose Altuve. You have Ronald Acuna Jr. You have all these guys. So thinking about your time in Venezuela, when did you first start playing? Like, what brought you to the game of baseball? What did you think about that you really wanted to play? And when did you realize you had that talent to get to the next level?
So it's kind of like, the goal for every kid is play baseball. So I started when I was younger, like around 2.5, maybe 3 years old. So my dad introduced me on this beautiful sport. So I started grow up, and when I started see like something about like professional was kind of like when I was 15 years old. So was kind of like not late, but was kind of like on the age when I need to prepare to be ready for a professional sign. So it take me kind of like a year and a half to prepare myself, So I was the guy who don't have a big talent. So I just got the basic thing, but they saw me something, something different of everyone, and that made me jump to the big level,
Sammy, did anybody in your family play baseball, or were you the only one?
So my two brothers, they play. My old brother almost signed with the Red Sox too on 2004. But in the moment when he going see for the scout, he was injured on the shoulder. So he tried come back and see if he can sign, but was too late. But yeah, so I got my brothers, my grandpa, my dad.
Did your grandpa, your dad play professionally in Venezuela or beyond?
I still play in Venezuela, but I don't get the opportunity yet to jump to the real game. I was practice on preseason a couple years ago, but I don't got my introducing in the Venezuelan baseball league.
What about your parents, your grandparents, and your dad? Did they ever play professionally in Venezuela?
No, they just
No.
amateur, just
Yeah.
for fun. Yeah,
Just for fun.
yeah.
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
No, I want to ask one thing. So, what when you played when you were younger, what was your favorite position? What did you enjoy the most?
To be honest, always be a catcher.
Yeah.
Yes. So we start when 6 years old. So like 6 years old. Today is 25 years old. So I passed 19 years old. Just be a
Wow.
catcher. Yeah.
Hope you have good knees.
I hope so. They give me like 20 more years.
So a lot of our audience is we watch, baseball at the professional level, and we see a lot of players come out of Venezuela and Dominican and all that. But most of us don't know how they get there. So my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you came at 16, you went to play in the Dominican Summer League.
Yes, sir.
And that, so most kids in the US at that point, they're playing high school baseball. They might be playing in a travel league during the summer. They're trying to get scouted. So there's a concrete path for US born kids. But tell us a little bit about that path from getting discovered in Venezuela and then making those next steps to play in Dominican Summer League and then eventually at the minor league level.
So we signed different here. So we signed like a free agent. So right now, I don't know how they do it, but years ago when I signed, we got just 1 year to sign. So when you are 16 years old, if you pass 16 years old, the percent to sign going to be low. You pass 17, low. 19, low. 20, super low. So the age is 16. If you are ready in that moment and you make what the scout want to see on you, you're going to be signed, So and that moment was kind of like crazy because that year was for 1 year more younger than me. So in that moment, I was 15 years old, and that tryout just for the 14 years old, So like they want to see if in 2 years they are be ready and all that stuff. So they just invited me to complete the group. I can tell like that. So complete the group. So it's kind of like, oh, we need a catcher. We call this guy. And that was a great tryout. I made something different, and I showed them like, wow, this guy have something special, So, but I was in that moment 15 years old, so I cannot sign because was illegal. So they need wait to my birthday, so August 21, to make a real sign.
Well, we have to tell you, happy birthday.
Yeah, right. Happy to have you here, man.
Thank you. So yeah, so C13, we are 22. 9 years ago, right now I was signing professional.
Wow.
So yeah, so they need to wait. So I went to Dominican in July 3rd after everyone signed on July 2nd, and I passed there 1 month. Then they sent me back because again I was not part of the team, so I can be longer than 1 month. And I still practice and send my academy and all the stuff. And when my birthday came, I make like the real sign professional. Then on October to December, I went to my first winter in program. So they call that International League.
So that was in Dominican.
Yeah, that was in Dominican. So I
Okay.
passed in Dominican 2013, 2014, and 2015. So
Okay.
on 2015, I got a good year. I can tell was one of my best year I got.
Mhm.
In 2016, they say like, Sammy, you are moved to the next level. Yeah.
So all the clubs, they send the guys that they're recruiting from mostly from the Caribbean and South America. They send them into the Dominican League first. Is that generally the process, or at least from the Venezuelan players?
It's for every Latin.
Okay.
So it's kind of like you say, yeah. No, but the thing on that kind of
Yep.
players, they are different. They come straight to here. But
Okay.
for the Latins, Curacao, Hillary, Brazil,
Yeah.
Spain, all those players, the first step to professional is in Dominica.
Okay.
Because there they have the
Yeah.
big complex for everyone.
So then from there, at that point, you play there, and then you're brought. You come to Florida, right? You come to
Yep.
Florida and play in the Gulf Coast League, and then,
Yeah.
and then you guys are set up at all the spring training facilities there.
Yes. So that was 2016, and again was a great experience because, you know, when you are a kid, you always see those big players on TV, and one day you cross by in the weight room and you see those big guys right there. It's kind of like, this is a real, this is a dream, you know?
Right.
So was amazing that year, and I shared with couple big league players, Venezuelan, like Sandy Leon, Eduardo Rodriguez, you know, so was a great experience. And again, so was a dream for every kid. See those guys. I meet David Ortiz, Sander Bogart, Mookie Betts, Jason Barite. So was pretty big good experience.
So that's awesome. And you know, the ball players here in the States, you know, they go to school, they go to high school, some of them may go to college, and they get to go play, and it's somewhat easier for them because they're here. So you came from Venezuela, you came from DR, you know, it's a little bit of a culture shock. You get to play in Florida, you get to play in Massachusetts, you got to play in South Carolina, you got to play in Virginia. These are all different towns along the way that you got to travel to and play within your career. But when you think about it, how was it the adjustment to adjust from the culture of coming from Latin, you know, from your country, the language, the culture, the people, you know, the environment? How did you adjust to that? And then, you know, give me that part of it first. Like, how did you adjust to that whole transition of coming from there to here?
So the first thing you said, like the language, was, I think I can tell, the difficult part of my career. Why? Because in my country, they just teach the simple thing, you know, where to be, hi, how are you, good and you, but they don't teach like something like, you know, you need straight with this. So in Dominican, we got kind of the same, a little bit more advanced, but the difference in Dominican is you have 45 minutes just class, and you have 23 and 15 minutes Spanish, you know? So everything you learn in 45 minutes, you forget in 30 minutes, right? You know? Because it's kind of like, okay, I learned this, perfect. I leave the classroom, we speak in Spanish. So everything you learn, you forget already, because, you know, more repeat you keep, more the mind keep it. So when my first year in here in USA, in Fort Myers, when I didn't play, I was with the American guys in the bullpen, and I always ask them, hey, how you say this, how I can pronounce this, because that is one of my difficult part, how pronouncing. I can understand and sometimes talk, but pronunciation is a little hard. So they heard me a lot, and I need to do it because the first week I came for Myers, in from the hotel, like 5 minutes walk, we have a Burger King. So I ate in Burger King for a week. So I just say combo 1, combo 2, combo 3. Yeah, because it's the only thing I know. Because they have Whopper double, Whopper triple, Whopper sandwich, all the stuff, and I didn't know how to say that. The easy part is just say combo. So I that's it. Like to me, it's like no, I need to learn because I want to eat all the stuff, and I need keep a better communication with the pitchers, not just for the pitcher, and that going to be hurt me in overall. So that year I learned, I can tell like 50%. I got the teacher Millie. And that year I met Mr. Conde. So he got interview for us too to help and all the stuff. I back to Venezuela on 2017 was, I can tell, my best year to learn and speak, because that was the moment when I met my wife right now, and I need to speak in English with her because she don't know any Spanish. So when I start speak with her, everything going to be a little bit more easy. So after that, they sent me to here to Greenville, and was another weather, another situation. Now we have more fans. Was another challenge for me because in Fort Myers we don't have too much people watching us. In Lowell we got enter like 5,000 people, maybe less, maybe more. But here in Greenville you have 10,000, 9,000 people right here, and wow, the difference is a lot, and the pressure start feeling more and more and more. So then send me to Virginia. There is no a big fans, but it's another level with more experience for the players. You start see maybe MLB players, they go down for a rehab. So it was every level start making like a little bit more difficult. And I learned this late. If you don't make the adjustment in the moment, that's going to be hard to come back. So, but yeah, every year in every league, I learned a little bit of everything, and was amazing experience.
Let me ask you one thing real quick on that. I'm sorry, Brian. Can you just share with us quickly what's life like minor league baseball? What's that life like? Like, did it give you everything you expected it to be? Was it something like, oh my God, what is this? Like this kind of, delve into like what was that all about? How did that feel, that life?
So the life feel like, I think, feel not to like everyone thinking, because after you play, you need to have another job. What is another job? It's kind of like start figure out with the little things you have to try survive, So with the thing is like, you don't pass like horrible, but you are not like fancy or expensive stuff, So you need to start like save the little money you get to share with the teammates and try find the cheapest stuff you can. So the life on minor league is hard. It's hard. It's not easy. It's not medium. It's hard. Of course, when you sign, you got a good bonus. So they give you a good money. You don't have to pass all this stuff. But on my case, and most of the players, they don't got a lot of money. So you need to survive with the little you get every 2 weeks. And was a hard when we moved in Fort Myers, not too much because we got the hotel, so we still pay for that, but the money don't was too much, On low, I can tell was the best league for every player. Why? Because we sleep on the the college rooms. I don't know. I don't remember how called that.
Yeah, the dorm rooms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
And you eat in front and then on the dinner room from the college and the guys. So all the money you make in 2 weeks is free. You still play. You still they take you for that, but when they give to you, you don't need take anything to pay. So and that league, I think was the best league for everyone because you don't spend any money of your pocket. Of course, if you want to buy something, yeah, you need to do it. But about food, about sleep, you don't have to spend anything. On Greenville was the big problem. Why? Because the 2018, we was like 12, 13 Latin players. So in the bedroom, the little apartment we got is just for 4 people. So we doing like something illegal, and we live kind of like 10 guys just on one apartment. So the apartment got 2 rooms, one kitchen, sorry, and 2 bedroom. So 2 guys sleep in the bedroom, 2 guys in the other one, and the rest of the guy between the kitchen, the bedroom, and almost on the door outside the apartment. So live with that is kind of hard because everyone is not the same. Everyone have the cultura. Everyone have I like sleep with lines on. I like to talk late. So it's not easy. It's not easy that part, and you need to start figure it out and make to everyone feel comfortable. So
Well,
the
I'm
good
assuming
part,
that you probably got the bedroom because you're the catcher, you're the general on the field, so you had to have the bedroom.
no, you know what was my side? The kitchen. I
Yeah.
was close to the food. I don't need to work too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so was hard, and when we moved to Virginia, it was kind of the same, but in that moment was a little less because they have just like 5, 6 Latin players. So we was in the apartment pretty well. But every level you go and move, you have less Latin. So, but yeah, was kind of hard live with all the stuff. And the other thing is you need to sleep on fake bed, fake bed. So the inflatable.
Oh, inflatable. Yeah, inflatable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So we got one guy, Conde know that, know him, Victor Acosta.
Yeah.
he was in the bed, and every night around 12:30, the bed was off, so the air doesn't work, and you hear it like at 1 p.m. like try to make it home. So every day was that. But again, so like is the team what we got, and we need to survive with that.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's something that David and I have talked about it, and I know that we've written about before, but just that it's not as glamorous as many people make it out to be. Like, the professional baseball game, yeah, at the big league level, it's luxurious, but when you're below that level and you're working your way up through the minor league system, it could be a pretty rough life almost, or you're living on a small amount of money with like you were. That's a perfect story though. A lot of people sharing rooms, trying to find your next meal, sharing food, all that kind of thing. So that's very interesting story.
Yeah.
Wanted to shift gears a little bit, and when you talked about your language, developing language, I thought about this, and this was a question I wanted to ask. You're a catcher, and that's kind of your passion, and you teach catching, and that's been your focus as a player. And you told us since you were 6 years old you wanted to be a catcher, and the language aspect is something I never really considered. But yeah, the catcher's got to communicate, right? The catcher's got to communicate with everybody else on the field. particularly the pitcher. So kind of want you to walk us through a little bit about catching, your passion for catching, your kind of the aspects of catching that you focus on, what kids should know that are coming up in wanting to play catcher or are trying to play catcher. What are those pointers that you have for them?
So the good thing of that is kind of like tell you, when I was doesn't play, I was in the bullpen with the pitchers, and I start learning the baseball thing, because that's what I need to. The baseball thing outside is different because we have the classroom, and we can learn, read a newspaper, a magazine, something like that. But yeah, so it was a good thing. And that year in 2016, talking with the pictures and all the stuff, so was a little bit more easy when I start talking with them. Why? Because two things: I start learning more, and two, I start know them more. So I can say like, okay, so what pitcher do you like to throw with 0-0, or what pitcher you feel comfortable on 3-2? So that was a good part of learn English, because you start know the pitchers, what they want and how they feel comfortable. And the goal for the catcher is that make the pitcher comfortable. If the pitcher is uncomfortable, he's going to make a horrible job on the mound, So it doesn't matter if you speak English, if you speak French. So on that moment, it doesn't matter the language. It's matter what is the pitcher doing, because the pitcher have the ball, So he is bad, everyone going to be bad. So yeah, so the good part of learn English that made me feel comfortable with the pitchers and start know what they want to do and what they think in the moment, So, but yeah, was in the beginning was a tough situation, but with the pass of the days and more share with them and all the stuff in the locker room, again in the bullpen, during the body practice, that let me, okay, so I learned this. Okay, let me practice. Okay, I got it. So I go to the other guy and ask the same question, because every pitcher have different stuff. So you need to learn a little bit of everything and try put down the game quick as you can, because the game is just boom, speed game. You need to make the adjustment, and you need to be ready for all that stuff. So but yeah, so that made me feel comfortable and made the pitcher comfortable, the communication.
Sure, absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit more about, from just the catching, your perspective on catching, or your catching philosophy, or why you have a passion for the position too.
So to be honest, I start to love catching when my old brother was playing. So I don't remember this, but always my mom and my dad told me I was behind the defense, say like, go brother, go, you can do it. So I start like it. And again, my dad start teaching me the little things what you need to know on catching. So then when I start feeling, I say, okay, I like it. So because when you have like 7, maybe 8 years old, you start know a little bit what do you want to do, but when you made like 12, 13 is when you decide like, I want to be this. So when I pass all the process, like I like it, and I feel like good what I doing, and good. So when I made 12, 13 years old, I said like, I want to be a catcher, because that's what I want to, and that's what I feel excited to do. So yeah, all the process made me love catching. And again, so watching my brother, that made me more patient to love this position.
Very cool. Yeah, I think that my personal perspective, David, you probably would agree with me on this, but catching is just the most, it might be the most important position on the field, I would say, because the pitchers are interchangeable. You look at these guys, you could bring another pitcher into the game, the pitcher's not doing what he's supposed to do, And, just all aspects. It's one pitch after another. If you're playing third base or you're playing first base, you're going to get a ball here and there. You're going to get balls thrown your way or hit your way. But catcher, you're in on every play.
Most important position on the field.
Yeah. and that one is the less credit you get.
Yeah.
So
right.
have you do everything, and is that position is the less credit you get. Nobody cared too much about catching.
Yeah.
You just catch the ball and that's it. But they don't know what you need to do to catch the ball, So it's a lot of stuff to the catchers. It's not just catch the ball, throw the ball, blocking the ball. You need to be ready for everything. Again, like I told you, you need know the pitchers, what do they want to do. When they come struggling, what do you need to do to try make they come down and try fix it out again quicker we can, because if they don't make the job, the manager take it out and put another one. So you need to know the runners, if this guy is fast or no, or it's medium, but he can run. So you need to be ready for that. And the plays or situation, if the ball hit to that way, what do you need to call? Know the hitters. If in the first IB, he strike out with a curve on the ground. And the second IB, what do you need to throw to him? The same sequence, or maybe you're going to mix. Because again, the hitter make the adjustment to maybe you repeat the same sequence and the third pitch, boom, over the fence, because they made the adjustment. So many things you need to do just in seconds. And if you are not ready for that, it's going to be a little bit hard. So it's not just catch the ball, blocking the ball, throw the ball. It's more than that.
Good. I'm going to have you talk to my son later, because this way you can give him a little more information so he can figure there's not just block, catch, and throw. It's understanding what the game's about, because between him and the pitcher, they control the game. So,
Yeah, for sure. We do it.
I wanted to ask you one thing, kind of go back real quick on something. So before, you were playing all these seasons and everything, and then all of a sudden 2020 comes, everyone's excited for a baseball season, and it stops. COVID happens, shuts it down. Nobody gets to play in the minor leagues. No one knows what's going to happen. And then baseball teams decide to shift it up and start releasing a lot of ball players. If people look back at your stats, they realize that you didn't play after 2020. Just kind of go into a little bit what that was like, and where did that take you from there? What did you decide from there to keep going, to improve, to follow whatever other dreams you may have?
So that year was, like you say, was tough for every minor league players. In my case, I am the person who know who I am, and who know what I can do and what I cannot do. So I was part of that. 1,000 players was a relief. So in that moment was kind of like, okay, so now what I need to do, or what I going to do. So the only thing what I know is baseball. I don't know how. I know how good, because I always hungry. So that's the good part. But I don't know do anything, any job. So like I don't know construction. I don't know another job. So like baseball is my life. So it was kind of like a good and big question I made, and for kind of like a month, I was trying to figure out what I want to do, and I tried to come back to try and see if I can sign again. But again, it was kind of like, you are, in that moment I was 22 years old. I said like, okay, so you spent kind of like 8 years with the Red Sox, so now they have some kid, they have 16 years old, they are looking for the same what are you looking for, So you got the experience, but maybe this guy have the same talent what you have. So you are kind of level, you are balanced. So if you try, you can make it, but that don't going to be take too long, because the kids start grow up, grow up. If they are right now on your level, and 1 2 years they are over you, or you are kind of the same. So I said like, I love to work. I love to play. So let me just play for fun. And again, I said like, let me play for fun, and maybe one scout go and watch the game and looking what I doing, and they say like, hey, you wanna go and try out for this thing, you know, because never know. And I tried to do that, and I went to Florida 2021 for a big tryout. Prosper, I forgot the name. It's a big tryout on Prosper's. So many scouts from MLB went there and all the stuff, but I saw that was more for money than for really looking for the players. Why? Again, I spent 8 years professional, and this is not like, oh, I know more than everyone. But what the players show there, that is nothing professional. And they say like, no, this is a professional tryout, all this stuff. So they focus more on the money than really sign the players. So on the end of the day, they sign couple players. They don't have a good condition to play pro, and they sign just for independently. Any player signed to MLB team. So I said like, after this, if somebody asks me for a tryout, I go and do, but I don't go and pay, because I don't want to lose my money again to do my 100%, and these people don't care that, because they care the money. So after that, I talked with my wife and said like, I don't go anymore with this. So I just let me play for fun, and somebody come to me and ask me, we do it, but I don't go in and try again, you know. So if that come, perfect, but I don't go in to try.
When you look back, are you grateful for being able to have played professionally and
Yeah.
that experience?
Yeah, it was amazing, because I meet so many people who heard me, not just on baseball, outside the baseball. I meet so many cultural, so many guys from another country, a couple words for their language, and they give me the opportunity to be part of one big name of the MLB. And I was close. I don't was too far to make, but I know what was the reason I don't continue with the Red Sox. But was a great experience. 8 years, fantastic. I can tell like I don't be in any trouble. I can tell I was kind of like follow the rules every time. I can tell you if I do something wrong, they going to tell me, hey, you cannot do this, or hey, never do this again.
I know that you've kind of transitioned into the professional baseball life, which is fine. You have a wife, you have a daughter now. You know, you get to play on the weekends. The other thing you're doing is you're training. So one of the things that you did was you created this very interesting logo for your training. So I kind of want you to explain the logo, what it means, and why did you decide to create that logo?
So this is a good question. Why? Because before we start what we're doing right now, I doing a group lesson at one academy close here to home, and again was a new challenge for me, because my level to teach kids is a different things, a different level, a different performance, a different everything. So I started learn something new. I was with that group of the academy like for a year, kind of. Sorry. And one day I was talking with my wife and said like, I think I want to do something more than just a group, you know, because if you work with a group, you just focus on the group. You don't focus what are they doing wrong, one-on-one. So I say, like, I want to do something one-on-one. So she told me, like, yeah, that'd be good, but we need looking for a place to can do that, because if we don't have a play, you cannot start doing this, because where are you going to put the kids? So in that moment, I talked with the general manager at the Drive and asked about that, and if I can use the cage to do the lesson for the kid. And his name is Eric, and he made me like, Sammy, when you want, you can use it. So in that moment, when I said, like, okay, now we can work one-on-one with the kids like I want. So, but again, I don't take this like too serious, because it's kind of like, maybe this is just for the winter, because I start this on January. So maybe for the winter, because maybe when they start school, everything changed. So the months pass and everything, and I start see, like, why we cannot make a name for the team. What are we doing? So that was come the name in the logo. The logo come from myself. Why? Because when I was a kid, I was a super skinny guy, super skinny guy. And now you can tell I got a big ears, right? So think about it, I'm a skinny with these big ears. So look, what do you think look like? An elephant or something, an animal. So I was talking to my wife and said, like, why we don't put this? If the people ask, we tell, like, this is me. And that was the nickname. What is my friend back to home, they told me, like, elephant, Dumbo, car with a big mirror windows, Lamborghini, you know, because the Lamborghini you open. So many nicknames.
Oh,
and I said, like, yeah, that is a good idea to do that. And she said, yeah, that's perfect. So when we're looking for the name, I want to do something in Spanish, because it's my language, and was a good thing to kind of like to keep the attention of the people, you know, because they looking for the name. What does that mean? And what does that mean? What is Disfrútalo mean? So I used, when I was in my career and professional, I always say to the American people, American guys, say, like, Disfrútalo, disfruta. Because in that moment, I didn't know how to say have fun or enjoying it. Mm-hmm. And I always say that, disfrútalo. And they start liking the word. And some of them say, like, disfrútalo. So when we're looking for, it's like, disfrútalo is the word. Disfrútalo is the name for what are we doing. And we put disfrútalo with the elephant. So, but need a little bit more special thing. And when we put Disfrútalo ST. So ST mean is my daughter, Sofia, me, Sammy, and my wife, Tracey. So ST. And when we made that, was kind of like, I think everything is complete. So that was kind of like the history of everything about the logo and the name.
You know, it's funny when you were playing with the Red Sox, and the guys would kind of mess with you. I didn't ever want to say anything. I'm like, that's kind of messed up. I would tell the guys, why are you messing with his ears for? That's funny. But we thank you for, you know, being a part of this. We know that you are, you know, you got to live the life. Not many young kids here in the States understand the journey that the Latin ball players have to go through from coming from another country, getting signed at 16. I mean, Brian and I know that, like we stated before, 16-year-olds are in high school. They're not even thinking about, and they can't get signed at 16. Right, you know, they can't go anywhere else. And you played, I mean, to be in baseball professionally 8 years, that's a huge accomplishment. You know, most kids play high school here, play college, and never get to play professional baseball. So no matter what, you're always going to be considered a professional baseball player. You know, you might have not made the higher level, maybe not, you know, AAA major leagues, but you've accomplished a whole lot. So you're training to the kids that you're training now. I mean, you're giving them a whole load of experience that you've gotten from professional coaches. So everything you're gonna do right now, you're creating something for the next generation of ball players that are gonna play the right way. So everything that you're doing, this is why we do this stuff on Legends on Deck. We want to share the stories of baseball players or baseball-minded people that are doing things for the next generation. You know, you have a daughter now, you're gonna raise her. Maybe she's a softball player. I don't know if Tracey's gonna let her, but
I want to, but if she don't want, it's okay.
Right.
I respect that, you know.
but
that's
what
kind of
you're
like
doing
the
is a
goal.
great thing. Yeah.
And Sammy, you're in back in Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah. I
Okay.
I am here since 2018. So
You guys
yeah,
settled down there.
I live in Boston, Massachusetts for a couple months.
Okay.
Then we moved back to here to Greenville in 2018.
So you do most of your training in the Greenville area, I would imagine.
Yeah, Greenville area. Mm-hmm.
Great. So if you are a Greenville, South Carolina area person and you want to learn how to be a really good catcher, we're going to put up all the links for you. Make sure we have a way for people to contact you.
Thank you.
Promote what you're doing. Like David said, our whole goal is that we're putting the spotlight on the people that are behind the people and the people that are trying to push the next kid to become the next legend on deck.
Yeah.
So, yes. So
Thank you.
David, another great episode. Sammy, Miranda, thank you so much for joining us today.
And if people don't realize, we're wearing some gear here.
Yep, I've been trying to show my hat off a little bit. I'm kind of like not liking my lighting, but I have to show the logo is more important than seeing my eyes, I think.
I got mine, but Tracy's laundry. So
there you go.
Well, Sammy does have some T-shirts that he gets out with the logo on it, so we'll share that out information as well.
Absolutely.
Our logos are. We just started a shop. One of the things we want to do is not, me and Brian not really looking to get rich. What we want to do is try to partner with other organizations to kind of help them grow and what they're doing. So the shop is going to help us get our logo out. We'll help get your information on your logo. And hopefully, down the road, people always remember Disfrútalo and they'll remember Legends on Deck together. We'll change the next generation of baseball-minded people.
Yep, that's the goal.
All right, guys. Thank you for this show. Thank you for today.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you again for the opportunity you gave to me and share my history. And I appreciate it for everything you're doing, guys. Nice job and thank you again.
You're welcome. Good night.